A new session of the Barbados Parliament begins today, and in sport, another arrest in the investigation into the Cayman Islands Football Association. I'm Dawn Paris, and this is the Caribbean in 10 for Tuesday, June 5th. I'll be back with the details after the break. A new session of the Barbados Parliament began today with the new administration of Prime Minister Mia Mottley outlining a number of initiatives aimed at turning around the ailing economy and ensuring a balanced budget by 2019. Governor-General Dame Sandra Mason, delivering the traditional throne speech, outlined the priorities of the Mottley government, saying that it had come to office in an unprecedented economic uncertainty and a stagnant economy. She says after extensive consultation with the social partners, the government has started the process of restructuring the island's public debt and renegotiating existing obligations. And she promised that all relevant stages of the process will see Prime Minister Mia Mottley's government acting with transparency and keeping the Parliament and the citizens of Barbados fully informed. The Governor-General says the new economic policies of the government would ensure the maintenance of a fixed exchange rate and preserving the value of the local currency. Among the initiatives outlined, the government also announced plans for a gun amnesty and the decriminalization of marijuana for medical purposes. The Governor-General says Barbadians have a high expectation of the new government, and she added that the task ahead is not for the 30 elected or the 21 appointed, those are the senators, but for the 300,000 who live in Barbados and those of our citizens living in the diaspora. Over in St. Lucia, the National Emergency Management Office is today wrapping up a two-day workshop on disaster preparedness, and this is as the country continues to educate different sectors on mitigating natural disasters as the hurricane season begins. NEMO Director Velda Joseph says the workshop is one of the many activities by the organization to ensure that the nation is prepared in the event of any disaster. The workshop, which finishes later today, focuses on the readiness of the island's port to return to operations as quickly as possible following a natural disaster.
Focusing not just on the port physical infrastructure, but we are looking at what arrangements do we have in place. We are looking at how quickly we can get supplies out if we are impacted, how quickly we can bounce back and have the port functional after a major devastating system. We're looking at the people, how do people get to work at the ports. And so we're looking at all the arrangements that we have in place and what it is that we do not have, in essence, what are the gaps in terms of making sure that our ports are resilient. We know that we can't talk about one sector being resilient and the other is lagging. We need to have all sectors resilient. We need to have all people build resilience if we are to talk about a resilient St. Lucia. And the whole intention based on our work program is to make sure that we work towards making St. Lucia as a whole more resilient.
The American Chamber of Industry and Commerce in Trinidad and Tobago is concerned that the fines under the Cyber Crimes Bill are not sufficient deterrent for potential perpetrators. The matter was raised at a recent sitting of the Joint Select Committee on the Cyber Crimes Bill 2017. Other stakeholders weighing in on the matter were the police and the media. The media's greatest concern was the possibility that the bill, if passed in its current state, would infringe on the rights of freedom of expression and impede its ability to carry out its functions as the Fourth Estate. Alicia Boucher of TV6 News has the details.
Chief Executive Officer of AmCham TT Nirad Tiwari believes the current fines under the cybercrime bill do not act as a sufficient deterrent to potential perpetrators. The lowest is TT $100,000.
Given the nature or the transnational nature of cybercrime in general is very low, and therefore we are suggesting an increase. We have 300 here, but in some cases it's 500.
Under the section of the bill which deals with the unauthorized granting of computer data, intended to treat with issues such as breaches to national security and trade secrets, AmCham says if, for instance, a hacker gains unauthorized access to a data system and reveals information which subverted the nation's interest, there should be an exemption. But apart from this, AmCham is taking a position that the bill should not create an imposition on the role and functions of the media. Attorney General and Chairman of the JSC, Faris Al-Rawi, says that's not the aim.
And the truth is the defense of a journalist.
Thank you. Just for the record, the committee certainly, and I speak for myself here, we don't propose any form of regulatory management of journalism.
The police service says more offences under the bill should be indictable. According to Acting Deputy Commissioner of Police Harold Phillip, card fraud is a major problem. In 2017, there were close to 1,700 reports with a value of 14.5 million TT and 78 prosecutions.
Stay with us. Your Midday Sport is next.
It's just such an environment that is, it's not just a normal series. It is the Cricket World Cup. It is big. It's bigger than anything that you ever play in. This is the stuff that you dream about. But yeah, look, it's going to be a wonderful World Cup, and I can't see anything changing. It will be that, you know, the ICC and ECB will run this really well. I've got no doubt. I'm looking forward to it.
Next time on MTV Sugar.
You go begin to hear some kind of stories about me.
What kind of stories?
Confirm my statement, and everybody moves on.
Did you not see the victim right after the incident?
I don't want to put anybody in trouble, though. It's about Miss Yasmin.
Pack our bags. We leave for Kano right now. It's over. Forget it.
In Cayman Islands, the Anti-Corruption Commission has made another arrest relating to an investigation involving former leaders of the Islands Football Association, SIFA. In a statement issued yesterday, it said investigators arrested a 47-year-old man on suspicion of secret commission, money laundering, and conspiracy to defraud. He was detained for questioning at the Fairbanks Prisoner Detention Center, but was subsequently released on bail. The Anti-Corruption Commission did not disclose the name of the man, but said the arrest was in connection with previous arrests made on June 29th and 30th last year. And that's when former SIFA First Vice President Bruce Blake and former Treasurer Canova Watson were arrested. Former SIFA President and FIFA Vice President Jeffrey Greb was also charged in connection with that case, but has not appeared before the local courts. He remains in the U.S. awaiting sentencing in September for his role in corruption in international football. Since being arrested in 2015, he pleaded guilty and has been on house arrest in Georgia. And that's Caribbean in 10. Join us at 6:30 this evening for Caribbean Newsline. Good afternoon.